Wow, this is crazy. What the heck? Hey, and by the way, thank you, Pops, for showing me this information. Breaking news. Pop sent me an article, and I hadn't seen it yet. And then I noticed this is it's being unreported. It's not a widely reported development. Check this out. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, as most of us know, has been appointed to the U.S. Government Advisory Committee, working directly with the CFTC. Look, if you've been following the Clarity Act and seen some of my coverage on this particular thing, this is huge information. Okay, now I'm going to show you the news clip, the credible source. There's tons of opinion, like the ZY crypto, and then the crypto site. There's a lot of opinionated blogs and things, so be careful what you're reading. This is a credible source that I'm going to show you right now. This is the article coming out of Coindesk.com. Very reputable news source. Crypto execs Armstrong, Garlinghouse among many named U.S. CFTC advisory groups. What? This is crazy. This is crazy. So the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission set its inaugural list for the Innovation Advisory Committee. You need committees for stuff like this. I don't like committees. I've sat on tons of committees inside large school districts. I've got good stories and nightmare stories. But, okay, and Brian Armstrong, CEO, okay, blah, blah, blah. Group will have a role in steering future regulations as the U.S. derivatives watchdog takes on oversight duties in the crypto markets. Okay, now, U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which is set to be a leading regulator of the crypto markets, has named some of the crypto sector's most prominent executives, including the two guys we're talking about. Oh, the Robinhood, the Uniswap. Look at this list of people. And let me just say this before we move on, real quick. We all got into crypto because we're tired of regulation. At least that's why I did. And I was really intrigued back in in 2020 when I started looking at these DeFi projects that had no third-party counter risk with nobody else involved. I was very intrigued. I'm a computer guy, so I knew how to, get into the self-custody wallets and, move tokens around. And I loved it. But then when I started seeing and understanding from an economic and a supply and demand point of view, if you don't have institutional money involved with these things, you're not going to make money. It's just the price action will not be there. It's just not enough to move, not enough liquidity to move things in a certain direction. And so once I realized that, I'm like, okay, I got to start studying and seeing what we need to do for some type of regulation. Now, there's always going to be those shit coins that we can go in and play with, and you can make something on a pump and dump if you have an insider information, which is illegal in the stock market. But that's my little side note. So it's a 35-member committee. It's going to steer the derivatives regularly on the needs of firms and the center of financial innovation. And to fill some of their numbers, the agency has repurposed a previous CEO council established at the end of last year before the arrival of the chairman that came in here, Mike Seelig. Excuse me. By bringing together participants from every corner of the marketplace, the IAC will be a major asset for the commissions as we work to modernize our rules and regulations for the innovations of today and tomorrow. Okay, that's a statement by Seelig. There's an earlier group. Okay, there's a bunch of other names. I want to show you these names. Look at these names. I'm going to scoot over so you can see this better. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is kind of weird. I'm still processing this. I got to be careful what I say here, but Uniswap Labs CEO, Coinbase, okay, this Options Clearing Corporation is huge. Polymarket. Wow, this is actually the A16Z Quick Crypto. Bullish what's his NASDAQ? Wow, Friedman's in there. Wow, Ripple, FanDuel, Bitnominal. Look at this. Look at this. Crypto.com, Kalishi, Grayscale. This is a little bit Chainlink Labs. All these guys, Kraken, Blockchain, Robinhood. I mean, Gemini, please. Solana Labs. It goes on and on. So we have the biggest players in the finance game participating and spending their time to try to come up with some concrete regulatory language that we can all abide by moving forward. How does that make you feel? Put a comment down there, because like I'm on the fence. Like I don't want to say it straight up, but I would like you guys to comment on what you think, because this is mind-boggling information. All right, folks, let's zoom out for a second. Let's process this. So first of all, what does the CFTC do? Okay, now first of all, the SEC equals securities. That's a different conversation. The CFTC regulates commodities. That's what we're talking about. The Clarity Act, okay, it's about what we're talking about in this Clarity Act, defining which digital assets fall under which regulator. It's got to be one of the two. The federal government's not going to go create a third entity. It's not going to happen. There's too much in there. So when Ripple's CEO joins this government federal committee, you think this just happened by chance? You see what I'm getting at, people? See what I'm getting at? In this Clarity Act, one of the central debates, if you haven't heard yet, is whether certain digital assets qualify as digital commodities. Okay? It's Ripple's CEO is now advising the CFTC while Congress debates digital commodity definitions. This is some kind of structural alignment. Can you see what's going on here? Now, we don't know. We don't know yet if XRP is a commodity. I just need to gently let the viewers and whoever else is looking at this thing take notes of this. We don't know if XRP is a digital commodity yet. It has not been designated as one or the other. What we can say without and don't get this confused. I'm getting a bunch of comments like, oh yeah, you didn't know, the lawsuit's over, but this has nothing to do with the lawsuits with the SEC that Ripple had, and it was so brutal. The last bull run top, you look at the XRP chart and it's just all flat. Very uncool. Again, XRP Army, way to stick in there. You guys didn't dump your bags because it could have been way worse if you had. This has nothing to do with a lawsuit, people. So please don't put that in the comments. This has nothing to do with the SEC lawsuit against Ripple. That has been settled, done. Fines have been paid out. It's over. What this does mean is that Ripple is no longer just fighting against regulators. That game has passed. Okay, now Ripple is participating in the regulatory architect. You guys see that? This is historical. Ripple is actually writing some of the laws on how cryptocurrency is going to be regulated. That's crazy to me. That's like an attorney going into a courtroom who's actually writing the laws that he has to abide by when he goes to sue somebody. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's mind-boggling. Oh my goodness. It's a narrative shift, people. So like I just mentioned, okay, SEC lawsuits in the past. Uncertainty is in the past, more or less. The enforcement of first approach is here. Now, what we're talking about here is this legislative clarity efforts. The Senate market structure negotiations is what it is. Industry leaders advising regulators. Bizarre. We're in a different phase in this cryptocurrency game, people. I'm going to pull this back in to where institutions don't just look at price, they look at governance. I've been saying this in every video. So if the regulatory definitions tighten up, Ripple leadership is advising the CFTC. Do you guys understand that? Wow. So if Congress passes clearer frameworks, then risk committees get a lot more comfortable. And I know the economy is not perfect right now, and I do understand that we are looking at a correction that's going to happen in the stock market. That's why this is so exciting, because we are at 52-week lows in the cryptocurrency market. I think it's on purpose. It's weird. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but right at the same time, if all this stuff gets solidified, do you know how much money is going to pour in here? Because trust me, the institutions know that the stock market has hit all-time high. I'll show you. I'll put the video at the end where I show you the technical indicators that we are going to see a correction. It's dumping. Stock market is rolling over, and it dumped and had some kind of little consolidation, and it dumped. This huge candle that I just looked at was massive on the downside. So, very important thing to look. My last video, we discussed this 20% beneficial ownership threshold is written in this language. A company cannot own more than 20% of the market share of available cryptocurrency to the public. And there's a lot of reasons for that. This will eliminate the rug pulls, the pump and dump scenario. I'm not going to say it won't exist completely, but it won't be as severe. The term rug pull won't exist underneath these regulated cryptos. So, if the digital commodities definitions are being shaped and Ripple is inside advisory conversations, look, on how the ownership and control is interpreted, this becomes very important. Okay? Now, I'm not going to overreact. And let's do a reality check here. 3 bullet points. Advisory committee does not equal policy control. Advisory role does not equal guaranteed outcomes. It doesn't automatically change XRP's classification. Okay, that's what I want to make. I'll tell you what, though, it does signal, and something like this is something. So we've been sitting through this thing. The regulation clarity that doesn't come overnight, people. Don't scold me if you think I'm saying things. Trust me, I'm going to legitimate sources on everything I'm saying right now. Okay. So when lawmakers just debate the market structure, they're the lawmakers and industry leaders and everybody inside these advisory groups shaping these conversations. Trust me, I'd love to be a fly on the wall with these big boys talking. Wow. Okay, this is when you're moving from this chaos type Wild West scenario into actual structure in compliance in law. So, hey, let's watch the regulators. Let's watch what these definitions come out as. And so that's where XRP's long-term story is beginning to be written, because we know that the XRPL can handle 15% of the SWIFT cross-border payments. Like these things are massive, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to share that with you. Sorry, I got a little dramatic. And again, thanks, Pops, for showing me this article right here. It got me going down the rabbit hole. This isn't a rabbit hole, though. It's very well defined. We have these guys, working on it right now. I'm going to leave you with the chart. Let's look at the XRP chart right here. And what we're seeing, technically speaking, people, this is okay, I'm going to say it's bullish. This is a flag pattern. Okay, I got to get my pencil. I got to get my writing utensil here. Where is it? Hopefully this will work. Let me take this off. Can you see this? Look, the red and the green is a flagpole. Both, this is very rare. You don't see a strong flagpole like this very often. Now, does this look somewhat kind of, brought my other lines back. Stay focused. Sorry, stay focused. Does that look like somewhat look like a flag on a flagpole? Okay. And then we're talking about this strong support resistance level at 143 that I've been talking about. Look what happened. This is a bullish pattern. When you see a flagpole like this and it breaks out and then crosses another resistance level, look what happened. It shot up. We saw XRP go up to that $1.50. Look, I'm not excited about that price level, but I am excited about this flag pattern, a bullish move up towards. We got to get to the all-time highs, or I'm not happy. Trust me, XRP Army. Don't look. When I say positive things about all these different levels, I'm not stoked until we're at the all-time highs. Okay. And then, okay, so we had a big candle. I hope some of you guys made some money on that short-term trade right there. And then you look at this, and it's like, oh my goodness. This is the end of today's candle was red, and we just started another one. The 5-day moving average is still shooting upward. It's about ready to cross the 13. Technically speaking, we are still in a bullish pattern here, and it might be. Look, I am so stoked to see what the rest of this week has in store. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I will put that other video up that I'm talking about here, so I can show you where I'm coming from all this hype. All right, Hop Sauce signing off. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Stretch it out. Do a barbecue or something. Do everything you can to make the rest of the weekend as fun as possible. Thanks for tuning in. Give me that thumbs up and that sub if you would, please. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Just an interesting road to our financial freedom right here, everybody. All right. Thank you. Appreciate your time. Peace out. Peace out.